Hello, my name is James Abbott, and welcome to my informational presentation for Back to School Night on English 3. This is going to be a class overview of what your students will be experiencing in my classroom. And so, one of the first things that I want to go over is the fact that this is a bit of a flipped classroom. Students will most often be watching my lectures on a computer recorded while I'm sitting in class giving students individualized helps, typically in the form of a workshop where I'll be working with one or two students each day, specifically on their reading and writing needs. And so the end of the class is going to be the major points will be balanced on four huge assignments that are due towards the end of the semester. There's going to be a summative writing assignment, an exemplar text study, independent reading presentation, and a writing reflection. I'm going to focus on deep learning in a few major points rather than covering a bunch of broad, small topics. My goal is for your students to create a piece of writing that is beyond what they thought capable from their writing abilities, wherever it was they started. I'll have a series of practice assignments that help students advance their skills. And after that point, I'll be taking a look at their writing individually and making specific recommendations, trying to guide them towards a more and more advanced piece. For each semester of the class, they're going to be choosing a different focus. And the goal is just at the end, what they produce is going to be the masterwork piece they've ever done for that piece or that assignment or writing style. And so if we look at the class, throughout the course of the semester, it's going to look a little bit something like this. There will be a first writing assignment, which your students have already completed. This is just a baseline look at where are you with this writing style. There will be 7 practice assignments, 8 for some topics, and then they'll go into study a piece of work from an author who's writing in a similar style than them. They'll then complete a major final piece where they try to create their best version of whatever it is they're writing. And then they'll do a reflection where they'll compare their writing at the beginning of the year to their writing at the end of the year and look for their improvements. In addition, throughout the whole semester, students should be working on their independent reading. And there's a series of independent reading assignments broken into 6 parts, which will conclude in an independent reading presentation that they will either produce live or show a recorded video at the end of the semester. And so these 4 assignments here that are a little bit vague, and I'll explain why that's the case later on, are going to be the vast bulk of the student's grade. And so a failure on any of these assignments is going to be really problematic. The benefit is, though, they have all semester to work with me to make sure that these assignments are not failures. And so when they turn them in, I should have seen the assignment 2 or even 3 times before they turn it in if they are workshopping with me and meeting with me in class like they're supposed to. And so the students, I want to make this class very individualized. So students can choose their interest and write according to what they're interested in. So each semester, a student is going to choose to focus on either writing essays, narratives, or poetries. Next semester, they're going to have to choose a different topic, right? And so if a student is working on essay this semester, they should have already written an essay just to show me what that looks like. And they're going to be building upon writing the most advanced, most nuanced essay they've ever written in their lives towards the end of the semester. Same thing goes with narratives, and poetry is not just one poem, it's an actual whole portfolio with analysis. And so whatever they do at the beginning of the semester is compared with what they do at the end, and then the next semester they choose another topic, and so move on. And so if they chose essay first semester, it means they have to then work on narrative or poetry the second semester, and vice versa for the other things. And then the independent reading focus is going to be up to the students as well. I do ask that they follow the format of doing either what's called an author study, a genre study, an adaptation study, or a research study. But the books they choose for this should be at their reading level. I want students to choose their books that they're reading. Really, all in all, What I want students to do is I want them to make a choice on how they want to improve their English skills. And I want them to know why they made that choice. So if they're writing something, they're writing it for a reason and they know why they're writing it. And if they're reading something, they're reading it for a reason and they know why they are reading it. Student choice is very important and it's often a huge motivating factor for students. And so the author study is just looking at a single author. They're reading two books that are not from the same series. And then they're going to just at the end give either a recorded or a live presentation where they talk about what they learned about that author and how that author writes. The genre study, they'll do the same thing, but instead of looking at an author, they're going to be looking at one genre and two books in the same genre. They could do an adaptation study. They're limited to doing this once per semester because they technically only have to read one book for this, but they're reading a book and then they're comparing that book to a movie that has been turned into. And then, or finally, they just do a general research study where they come up with 5 research questions. Then they take a look at 5 novels that they hope will answer that question, or sorry, 5 questions, 2 novels. And they hope try to answer those questions through their reading. And so, all in all, your students are going to be producing one major piece of writing with a lot of practice assignments, but before that piece of writing, and then a big reflection on how their writing is improved. They're going to be reading 2 novels and doing a report, a compare and contrast between those 2 novels. And that, in essence, is what they're going to be doing each semester, in addition to a lot of workshopping with me in class. And so you might be asking, how can you help your student? Well, you can ask them about their independent reading, ask them what books they're reading, how far along they are, ask them questions like, okay, what are you noticing between these 2 books? How are they similar? How are they different? Those will be questions that can really help them. You can ask them for them to show you their writing, because students are really going to need a lot of help editing and revising their writing, especially in the months of December and May, when they're at the point where they're supposed to be turning in this final writing piece. And it needs to be a final draft. It has to be probably one of the best things they've ever written in order to score well. I don't want students just to turn in any old typically when I ask students to write, if it's not over the course of a semester, I only ever get rough drafts from them. And I'm trying to show them that rough drafts are really not an acceptable thing to be turning in. They need to finish them and complete them. And so if you need any additional resources, one of the places I would recommend is my website. And so let's take a look to get at the website so you can see some of the resources that are there, as well as more information about the classes. All right, so welcome. So here is the website. If you are finding this video, you should have already been linked to this website. I will work on getting this website posted to my personal profile on the school website. And so when you go to my website, one of the first things you're going to see is that there are 4 major links to the reading, writing, resources, and just the contact page. The contact page is a good way to get a hold of me. If there's any needs for grade chains or letters of recommendations, emails, this is one of the easy ways to do it. Resources has information about the class policies. And so you can find any information about the class policies here. This is where some of you had to go to sign the online course policies. You can see that there's a quick reference here for my policy on late work, tardies, smartphones, and absences. And then finally, if we go back to the home, what we can really use this website for is taking a look at their writing and their reading assignments. So if your student is doing the argumentative writing path, you can go here and you can see on this webpage all of the major assignments, all of the lessons with the video lesson that's attached that the students are supposed to watch. Finally, at the end, there's information about their exemplar text study. Almost every single assignment that they're going to be doing in this class is listed and detailed on this website. And it can be a really valuable tool. The outline, the rough draft, writing a works cited page, formatting their final essay, and finally, their reflection. And so if you find out your student's writing style, and their reading style, this website can almost guide you right through what it is they are supposed to be doing in class. Same thing happens if we go to the independent reading page and you go to the 11th grade assignments, and let's say your student is doing a genre study. You can come here and see variously what the 6 parts of their assignment are and what they're supposed to be doing. So this web page would be a huge resource for helping your students. And if they have any questions about the class, they can look here to find what they're supposed to be doing. There's a lot of choice involved in my class, and my students will have to constantly be referring back. But this is one of the benefits about technology. I'm trying to use technology in a way that's beneficial for students and can give them a different experience than they would have if it were just an in-person classroom. I want to stop, using my class time to repeat the same lesson over and over again the same way. And I would prefer to use that time to look at their writing and give them individualized help and let them know what they could be doing better, what they are doing well, and how they can improve. I believe that that's a better use of my class time. And so a lot of my actual lessons are outsourced to videos such as this one. And so if you have any questions, feel free to email me at james.abbott@sanjuan.edu. Of course, we respond best by email, and I usually respond within a day. Uh, Also, view the website for other information. I'd recommend bookmarking it while you're here. And of course, feel free to let me know if you have any questions or if there's anything I didn't answer through my website or my video. Feel free to contact me, or just if you have any concerns, let me know. Thank you for watching this video today, and have a good night.